everybody, what's happening? Welcome to another show. Welcome to another episode on Millennial Hacker. Today I'm with Naiquawn. Naiquawn is a phenomenal dude. I'm gonna just say this right now. I've just spoke with him just for a few minutes before we just got started. A lot of energy, a lot of great vibes, a lot of things going on for himself, but he's maintaining it and he's doing a great job at it. But I'm not gonna say, I'll say that for at least. I'll let Naiquawn tell for himself. So Naiquawn, tell us who you are, what do you do, and how long have you been doing it?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Naiquawn Anderson. I'm based out of Columbia, South Carolina, but I'm always everywhere. Reason being is the things that I'm involved in. I'm involved in photography. I'm a professional photographer. I've been doing professional photography now for 7 years, but a total of 11 years. I'm also a personal trainer and a bodybuilder. I've been doing that for 6 years. Actually, I'm currently in the running for a competition for Men's Health and Fitness magazine. That's something I have a passion for. Anything that you hear me speak on, I have a passion for. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I do own actually 4 different businesses. And I'm also a part of a great collaboration called Carolina Crypto Collab, where as an entrepreneur, as an investor, we, just myself, one of 12 of us total, we go around to different places, cities, and we teach people about cryptocurrency, how to invest in it, how to properly use it, so you don't just follow the hype of Twitter and Facebook, like, oh, buy Doge, dump sheep. When you know more of the basics of it and the understanding of it, you can use it properly. So that's what me and my team do as far as that goes. Again, entrepreneurship is something I'm big on. I've been doing that now for my oldest company is actually, this is 2021. So my oldest company would be my spirits company that is 6 years old. I think I want to say it's 6 years old. So I've been doing this for a little while now. And I'm proud of where I am now, being able to coach others, help others, and motivate others as well.
That's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. First things first, I gotta definitely agree with you on that part when you said not just following the hype, just because I'm also in that kind of similar field of investing in crypto and the Forex market. I can't tell you how many times I'll scroll through Facebook, whatever, see buy Doge, buy Bitcoin, this is dropping, this is, and then people get in it not knowing how it works, and then it's just like they probably lost all their money or whatever they lost just because they got into the hype. But that's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you said multiple businesses, 6-7 years. So where did you, I think, because I know you said one of your business first was, for 6 years, but what interested you more when it came to the entrepreneurial field? Like, what interested you about it? What inspired you to take this upon yourself to go along this journey?
More importantly, the biggest thing that inspired me, I would say, is actually working for the bigger corporations. In my time frame, I've worked, I was actually a warehouse. I had my own warehouse with Pepsi. So I was a warehouse manager. And that means I ran the warehouse. I didn't really have to answer to anybody, right? I had to conduct my own team and run my own team and understand what it's like with working with different individuals, what, day-to-day basis. And seeing that, understanding that the money that was there from that aspect, just that one warehouse, what we pulled in, when you stop and think about it, I'm like, man, all of these soda companies that are out here, but yet they all still compete with each other, right? And let me go back to just say, I'm not big on competition. I'm all about collaboration over competition. But when you understand that you really don't even have to compete. If anybody walks down the aisle, the bread aisle in Walmart, Food Lion, any your local grocery store, there's probably 15, let's just say 15 different styles of bread. And let's just say within those 15 different styles of bread, there's also, let's say 8 companies in the bread aisle, but they still all sell out.
Right.
They still all sell out. And that's entrepreneurship. You find your niche, you get into it, and you find your way to sell out. No matter who else is on the same aisle as you, there's always going to be a million shoppers. Right. There's always going to be a million shoppers. So out of those million shoppers, I started to realize, out of a million shoppers, I just need 5,000, right? To make a good living. Let's just say a good living. And through the power of the Most High, my 5,000 will turn into 10,000, then 20,000. And then before I know it, I'm not just making a living for myself. I'm showing others how to make a living off the same thing. And what I like to call rinse and repeat method. My biggest mantra that I, personally created myself is focus, proceed, and conquer. I focus on the goal. I'm usually sitting here writing down the goals.
Love it.
Right. I'm writing down, whether it's 2 days, 3 weeks, 6 months, 2 years, you write them down. And that's the focus side of it. So you focus on what the goal really is. After you focus on it, you proceed on the goal. You proceed on the goal with a plan. You put your plan together and you proceed within that plan. Of course, I tell you right now, you're going to have bumps in the road. And you're like, why is it not working? That's a part of the plan too. Not your plan, but the creator's plan. So you have to go through those bumps in the road. And then you conquer it. And believe it or not, they'd always get conquered. A lot of people didn't think I was going to be able to do bodybuilding, man. I'm actually a little guy, like, you know, but I went from my very first show. I placed in 5th.
That's
people like, yeah, you placed in 5th though. Yeah, but it was my first show. I had no experience. You're not understanding. I had no experience, but I told myself that I was going to come home with the win. And then when I did my second show, I said, I'm going for at least 3rd place. I got 3rd place in 2 different classes.
Let's
so
go.
For me, it's like you focus on it, proceed on it, and conquer it. And then you rinse and repeat that same method. Focus, proceed, and conquer any goal that you want. And that's entrepreneurship. And that's and understanding that how much money is out there for us in the world. And if you haven't realized that yet now after COVID, how much money is out there in the world for all of us to actually grab a hold of, man, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. At this point in the game, everybody should understand that there's money out there for everybody. Ooh, right? Cool. But the biggest thing about it that I have learned, I've had to tell some of my closest friends, family members, hey, entrepreneurship is not for everybody though.
Facts.
Some of my closest friends, like, man, I want to open an LLC. And I tell them, hey, are you ready to put in 25 hours in a 24-hour day? What do you mean, bro? Sometimes I'm not getting a lot of sleep. Sometimes I'm up. Sometimes I'm writing down plans.
Yep.
You know, sometimes I'm traveling to places when I don't feel like it. I got to break my day up. Stuff like that. So sometime in entrepreneurship, your best friend or your closest uncle or mom or dad, they also play the best role for you within your role, within your journey of entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship gravitated me a long time ago, especially after the launch of my first company, which is called Unique Spirits. I launched a vodka company in 2016 with my other 3 brothers. And we did okay. And we're going through a revamp phase now. But it was the fact that 4 young Black men successfully launched their own spirit company out of our own pockets. I would like to say that one more time. To this day, my company has never went to a bank for a loan or anything like that. Not saying we wouldn't take it. Or a great investor, right? We've had 2 different people want to invest, but we didn't like the way they wanted us to change the company. We've never had any investors. We've never went to any banks. We've done every piece out of our pocket, and we're legit. We have we're FDA approved and everything, right? And that right there was the start of something bigger for me. I just knew that we could do so much more off of that one piece.
That's what's up. And you know, I gotta clap it up for that last part. You said starting out of your pocket fresh.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. You don't hear that too often, but like that just shows like dedication, the work you put in to make your dream become a reality. I love that. You touched on a lot of great points right there about what it means to be an entrepreneur, you know, running the numbers. You know, one thing I especially love when you talk about breaking down is, you know, especially this past with the COVID, you know, people if you don't realize, hey, there's a lot of money to be made out here,
right.
Then, you know, like, what are you doing? Because I'll be honest, I'm gonna be very, very honest. The moment COVID happened, right, and, you know, I always send prayers out to families and whatnot that were struggling, you know, maybe
right
and whatnot. But I'll say this, that was the time for everybody to get a wake-up call saying, yo, your job is not secured. Yo, there's more money out here to be made. Yo, what are you doing with your time?
Yep.
What's crazy is I think a lot, and what's actually, I've seen a bit of a numbers of people like rising in that type of stuff, like they've been doing more for themselves and whatnot. But there's still other people who just flat out like, you know, just wandering around like, man, what are we gonna do? So talking about this, and this is actually, I think this relates to entrepreneurship as well, is what would you tell to someone who has that dependency mindset, right? They depend on their job, but because COVID happened, some people lost their jobs and whatnot, had no idea what to do. So what would you tell to someone to like maybe start opening their minds up, or how to help them get out of dependency and form into independency of like, hey, this is how I can help myself?
That mindset is something that comes from within, right? And like I said earlier, just a few ago, right? Everybody's not ready to move from dependency, but Now it's who you depend on.
Right.
Who do you put in? If like I said, okay, you know me, I know you. You see me start up a t-shirt company, and if your mind, but see, your mind has to say, hey, what Naiquawn is doing has a lot of promise behind it, so I'm gonna stick with it. Then you have to say, but what is my position within what we doing? Because like, even though I started companies, I don't hold, like, the only companies that I actually hold the CEO title of is my photography and my fitness company. The other companies that I'm a part of, I know my position within the companies. And you know, I'm sorry about this, and I'm also a part of a magazine, a publication, and I'm the marketing manager, right? Because I'm good at marketing. I understand how to look at certain things and say, hey, let's market this, let's market that, let's tap into that market. I see that we're getting more people from this market. Let's see what we can do with that, or that market's untapped. I'm a marketing manager there. For the vodka company, you know, I'm the COO, you know, so things like that. Sometimes you got to learn your position of dependency.
Mm-hmm.
There can be a position within the dependency. They may not be able to break the node in their brain to say, you know what, I'm just going to go out here and be independent. They don't have that. And guess what? That's okay.
True.
What you're going to depend on now is the next step. Who are you going to take your time to say, hey, are you going to go back to McDonald's just because they raised it up to 18 an hour and depend on them when they already proved to you and showed you that when times get tough, they're going to say, yeah, we don't need you right now.
Right.
We don't need you. I know it's tough. It's tough for us too, but we don't need you right now. And I went through that with the company I was with. You know, I was with them for 8 years. My mom got really sick, and I kept traveling back and forth between states trying to take care of her. And when I said I needed to step down, they was like, "Oh, well, you can't step down." Well, I need to. Give somebody else a position. Just give me a lower position within the company.
Right.
I need to step down right now because this is my family will be gone, but this company will always be here. You've proven that. They have a nice track record of sales, right? So you've proven that you'll be here even when I die, right? My family won't. So the last thing I'm gonna do is still go clock in and let my family wither away right in front of me. And I had to leave the company. And that was another wake-up call for me, like, wow, they didn't even want to, and I was a valued asset, very valued. To the point where even now, sometimes I still get emails of, you ever think about coming back? I sure don't. I appreciate the fact that you know I was a very valuable asset to you and your company. Now I have to be the most valuable asset, MVA, to my own companies, to myself, to my children, to my lady. I have to do that now. So I will say this to anybody who tunes in. Hey, listen, if you feel like you have to depend on something, make sure you depend on something that's worth your time and very valuable. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Make sure you put your time in something that's worth it for you, where you feel most comfortable though. Don't go do something that makes you uncomfortable. I actually no longer engage in things that make me uncomfortable. Even with down to photography, right? I don't shoot certain things because it makes me uncomfortable. Don't take yourself out of that realm of comfort just for $1. I don't do it. I found plenty of projects. They're like, hey, would you? No, that's not my flavor. I'm not gonna do it. I can recommend you to somebody else, but but we're gonna pay you. I understand that. But every dollar is attached to something, and sometimes I don't want the attachment. That's okay.
Woo. I like that. I like how you finished with that part. And I think you broke that down clearly. I think you broke down straightforward, just keep it in blunt, keep it real about how it is and whatnot. And you touched on something that I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of people, I think there's a group of people who either don't realize this, there's a group of people who realize it, but they just ignore it. Then there's those people, I would say probably in our field, where it's just like, okay, we understand this and we understand wow, when it comes to companies, at the end of the day, they don't care as much as you think. Now, don't get me wrong. By the way, when I say this, I'm not dogging anybody or downing anybody. That's the job. In the end of the day, I always say, hey, success is always determined by you. It's determined by your happiness. If you love what you do, and I mean you love it, y'all stick with it. Stick with it. This is not a video of me saying, yeah, your job is they don't care about, or they just it's terrible, or whatever it may be. But at the same time, the era we live in, the generation we live in, the tools we have available to us. I mean, you got to think about this. People are basically, these vendors of all these social media platforms, crypto, all this, they're basically giving us the tools saying, hey, here is your chance in the best time of history to make something of yourself, of your family, your legacy. And oh, go ahead.
The second best time in history.
Second best. Okay.
This is actually the second best time in history. And I do very much apologize for cutting you off, but I just be able to tell people that this is the second time in history. If you pay attention to the first big economic crash, right? A lot of millionaires and billionaires were made during that time.
Mm-hmm.
They capitalize on the downfall, because when something's on the rise, it's hard to get in. It's like Bitcoin. Right. Who can get right now? Do you have 34? I think it's at 36 or 37K right now to just throw out to Bitcoin? No, you don't. I don't. You don't. You know, a lot of people may not have that, right? But when it drops, people get in. When it drops, everybody buys in. It's the same thing in the whole economic system. When everything's dropping, people are getting in. They're getting in on the low side, and they're becoming millionaires. You get in on it. If you pay attention to every company that has started and created a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire, they got in on the low side. They didn't wait till it was at $1 million to get in and make $1 million.
Right.
You got to get it low side.
Yes, sir. I love what you touched on that too, because it's like, you know, get in, especially while you can, especially while you have the opportunity. Because I saw a stat, what was it? It said like how this year Bitcoin started from like, it was like around like 9, 10 or 11K. And then it made its way all the way back up to 60K. Right. Now people, no, don't get me wrong. It is dropping. It's like you said, I think it's around like 34, 35K right now. But now people ask more about, oh, how's Bitcoin work? Well, how can I get in or whatnot? It's like, yo, you got to get in early. Early. You know, so what do you actually, I want to touch on that, because I think that also is how people pass over opportunities as well. What would you tell like people who are like hesitant? Because I think that's what it is. People are hesitant because I think they want to wait to see what is everybody else doing first, right?
Yeah.
But I think one thing people don't understand is the people who are the wealthiest, the richest, the ones that are taking those chances, they're getting in now, right? They're getting in now. They're doing their research. Like you said, they're working 20, 25-hour days and putting in that work. So what would you say to someone about like basically like letting them know, hey, you got to jump on this. I know it's scary. You may not know too much about it. Put the work in, do the research, but the outcome may pay off. What would you say to somebody who's like stuck in that I'm gonna wait to see what everybody else is doing type mindset?
I would tell them to get out of the mindset of the actual mindset. The biggest problem is instant gratification. Get out of that mindset. When you can unlearn that popcorn method, that you're going to get it right away. When you can unlearn the popcorn method, you start to see things in a bigger way. I do day trading as well, right? I trade in the market. So when I started understanding that I had to compound my money in order to have that big goal at the end of the day, you know, to take $1,000 to 100K, $100,000, you know, within a year or 90 days, that you got to compound it. That happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight, right? And then when you start doing your research for what you want, you start to realize nothing ever happened overnight. Rome wasn't built overnight. The Trojan Horse wasn't built overnight. Hell, USA wasn't built overnight.
True.
This big corporation of USA of America wasn't built overnight. So you got to take your time and figure out what are you willing to wait for. Now, something else with waiting is some of the people that may be waiting right now, they're already up in age, right? I'm 35.
Right.
So I don't really want to wait, but I know mentally that I have to. But when you read and understand certain things, you understand that actually 35 is a young age where a lot of people who entered the market years ago at the age of 35, they waited to hit 50 to become those millionaires and billionaires. And along the way, they were thousandaires. But they knew it would take this. I'll give anybody listening this. The best part to it is every business does not see a good return until 5 years after they start. So if you know somebody that had a business or doing well in business, ask them how long they've been in business. Because even if they tell you they're doing well, they're probably not doing as well as they want to be. Because business, it takes a good 5 years for a business, depending on the type of business. I'll say that because there's a shift in business right now with e-com business. E-com business is actually giving you a little bit of a return a lot faster, but you still in business. you may be getting a good return for 3 to 4 months, but if you don't stay on top of what's going on, what's coming out, what is your ecom business attached to, what is it servicing people with, how is it helping the people, how do you continue to help the people, how do you continue to engage the people, change your methods up, you too will see a downfall, a drop in money and all of that, right? And you're like, oh my God, it's only been 6 months. What's happened? First 6 months may have been beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Got to understand that this happens. Businesses go through these transitions. Like I said, when we first dropped the vodka, we did well. We did well. Very good for like the first, 4 or 5 months. And this was only on online sales. It wasn't even in the stores yet. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. No, we were just literally doing taste testings, and we would make sales at the taste testings through the online portal. Just like that, right? And then everything kind of slowed down for us because we kind of didn't really know which way to go next. So you also got to have a plan. But you got to have within your plan, please, this is very important because I watch it happen to me in different areas in life and even with the companies. If you don't have an exit plan, you're going to fail.
Facts.
You're going to fail. The reason is you're reaching, but you don't even know what the hell you're reaching for. You know, you're reaching and you don't know what you're reaching for. There's 734 hours in a month. Use them wisely.
Mm-hmm. Break it down just like that.
I literally break this type of stuff down so that I can look and say, well, I'm doing this usually for 4 hours, or for each business, I need to do this, this, and this for my businesses within these hours. That's going to equal this much hours. So now I got this much hours left for this, this, and that. I literally break down my hours per month. Some people tell me I crunch too much. Maybe. But I'm doing my best to get my goal.
Right. I love that. I love how you spoke on that as well. Time management in general. It is crucial. It is crucially important. I think it's a lot more important than actually people realize. You know what I mean? Like, man, like I remember I made a post not too long ago talking about, what's crazy is a lot of people say they want to put something off, or they're going to start on this tomorrow, next week, next month. And they're like, oh, okay, I got all the time in the world. But I always tell them, like, you don't know how much time you have. And this is what I always tell people who say this. I'm like, all right, tell me when your last day on earth is. And they're like, right. I don't know. I don't know when my last day on earth. And I'm like, exactly. You don't know when your last day on earth is, but I can guarantee you this. If you had a clock that said, hey, so-and-so, this is how much time you got left, I bet every single dollar in the world you would get to whatever you wanted to do.
Exactly.
So time management is key. So what do you tell people who put off time, who have that mindset of, I can do this tomorrow, next week, next month, I'll get to it eventually, right? What would you tell to someone and having them realize, like, yo, you do not know how much time you have left?
I tell people like that do that because it happens to me with workouts. Hey man, I'm gonna come to the gym with you on Monday. I'm gonna start this workout. Can you help me out? Because I think I want to get started Monday. I always ask them, what's the difference in between starting tomorrow, today, or Monday? Mm-hmm. I just think I'll be ready. But if you're already telling yourself you're ready now, do it now.
Right, come do it now.
If you're already, do it now, because if you wait till Monday, the feeling that you got today is gonna dwindle away by Monday. Today, Tuesday. Why are you waiting a whole week? But because we're conditioned that the start of something is on Sunday. The start of anything is the first day of the week or the first day of the month, or even the 15th of the month, right? That's the start. Or the first month of the year. We got to start on January. No, you can start right now. You can start right now. Bad. You can watch what we're talking about right now, and whatever the hell you want to get started on, you can start today.
Tell them just like that.
There's no reason to wait. The reason that you're waiting is because you think the right thing to do is to wait till Monday, wait till Tuesday, wait till January 2022. And what's going to happen is, while you're waiting, because I believe in energy is real. While you're waiting, the energy that you had and you ready to go at that moment, it just transferred into somebody else.
Yes, sir.
To the universe. And now they took that, it hit them, the energy hit them, and it was like, I got to do something now. I can't wait. I got to do this now. I can't wait. I got to do this now. And we all have those. I have moments where I don't want to get out of bed sometimes. I'm like, get up. No. Oh God, it's 5:30 again? Shit. But you gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing until you reach your goal. Or you can give up. There's nothing wrong with giving up. I'm not a quitter. But if you know you just cannot go any further, it's okay to lay it down. Just be happy the way that you gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Happy when you back away from the situation. Make sure that you do it to where you're satisfied first and foremost within yourself. Don't just leave something alone. Like when I was way, way younger, I did music. And a lot of people are like, man, why you didn't keep going? I'm like, because I felt like I accomplished a lot. I won awards, you know, not on a big scale, but on a small scale, I won awards. I did small tours. I met different big name artists, did a few tracks, you know, with them. So I felt like when I look back at it, I'm like, I did a lot though. It's not like I didn't do a lot. I did a lot.
Right.
So I'm accomplished with it. I was able to take the accomplishments that I did do and say, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it. I can let that go now. I don't have to touch that again. I did it already.
Man. Woo! Hey, I'm not gonna lie. People who are watching, I need you all got to go back and watch this portion again, because I feel like I'm sure that's gonna hit a lot of people. And the same thing for people who are watching it. If they I can't talk. If that did not hit you, you need to go back and watch that portion. What you just said, Naiquawn, everything you broke down about time, the importance and whatnot, absolutely true. Absolutely true. You know, like you said, people talking about, oh, well, starting Monday, starting Tuesday, whatever day it may be. It's like, but you're on Sunday, Saturday. It's like you're talking about it. You're feeling that started right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what it is. It's that good feeling. It's that good feeling of energy. You know, you can call it motivation even. And I even tell people who, whether it's my content, whoever's content they consume, and they're just like, man, I'm motivated to do this. I'm like, great, start now.
Right.
Start now doing that.
Brain in your body. You got to take it now. You
Exactly.
got to.
Because I tell people all the time, I'm like, that good feeling you may have, it may be a few seconds, it may be a minute, it may be like 5 minutes, whatever may be in that moment, but whatever it's motivating you to do, you got to do that right now. Because if wait till tomorrow, that feeling you just had, gone.
And because the feeling can leave with something as simple as somebody making your day go wrong, and now you don't even want to do nothing.
Exactly.
But if you're already pushing forward and somebody say something to you, and now that you feel a little different, but you already had all this positivity on your shoulder, you're like, I'm not even going to entertain that. When you learn how to say what energies you entertain and don't entertain, that's something big too. I had to learn that, you know what, that's not an energy I'm going to deal with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Stay focused on this. I see what you got going on here, but I get to you in a minute. It may not be this minute, but I get to that in a minute. You got to know how to focus your focus. You got to know how to focus. Because sometimes we can get over focused. We can overthink it. We can overdo it. You know, and it happens. It's easy. It's so easy to happen, man. We as people don't realize how easy it is to lose focus, lose your path, lose yourself. Let's just go there. Completely lose on any journey in life that you want. You know, and like you said, when I talked about doing it now, I'm 35. And I feel like I had chances at 30 to do some of these things I should have been doing. I feel like I had chances at 28, 26. And I'm like, why didn't I do it then? But I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Energy and motivation mentally to do it, because it got to be here, the mental first. Absolutely. I got the motivation mentally to do it now. I got to get it done now.
Right then and now. And that's why a lot of times, and again, this is a huge example because it's very popular. And again, this is not downing anybody with jobs, but like jobs people especially hate, right? Draining you. That's why it's hard for many people. So to anybody watching, and you know, Naiquawn, you can definitely feel free to put your 2 cents into this or whatever you may think. But you know, a lot of times you may be working a job you hate or you kind of like. Even if you kind of like it, you shouldn't be there. I always tell people, if I ask you, do you love your job, and you can't say yes, I love it, or yes, you don't like it. I don't even care if you say, oh, I like it. Now you gotta love it. Right? I'm talking about love yourself, love your job. But to many people, you know, you're doing something, you're probably working a job, you're doing some kind of hobby, you're around some kind of environment of people that are draining you when you know it, right? Like you touched on this from the very beginning. I know you said something about, you know, like mom, dad, family, friends. Right. A lot of people nowadays in today's society feel like, well, because this is my family member, this is my friend since we grew up or whatnot, I feel like I gotta tolerate them even if they don't see eye to eye with me. I feel like I feel like I owe them something because they did this to me, or they gave this much to me, or whatnot. So the bottom line I'm saying is, many people feel like, okay, these people I have in my life, I just got to deal with it. I got to keep them around. I got to deal with it.
No, you
That's not
don't.
okay. So what is your piece on that? What is your piece when it comes to your environment?
My environment only consists of those who I know is moving in the same direction as me. I got plenty of great friends, friends that been friends for 20 years, 5 years, 6 years, three months, right? I don't waste my time though if they're not moving in the same direction as me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you touched on about, family and friends. Me and my little brother, we both do photography, 2 different companies. Why? Because he has his vision, I have my vision. And I'm okay with that. And there's plenty of people that have, hey man, you don't do business with him, or asking, why you don't do business together? Why do we have to though? We're both still doing very well in our areas of photography.
Right.
And he has his style format and I have my style format. It doesn't mesh well, but that doesn't make us enemies either. But guess what? When there are things that we can work on together, like we both get hired for fashion events or this photography, whatever, we still work together happily too. Happily. There's no competition. There's collaboration over the competition. I'm not worried about his check versus my check. I'm worried about him getting a check.
Right.
I'm worried about him making sure he's booked. That's what I'm worried about, because as a big brother, something I'm big on with my siblings, because I have a lot of siblings, I made sure I try to teach each and every one of them something that could feed them for the rest of their life. You teach a man to fish, he could feed his family.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught every last one of them something that they can go and do, whether it's photography, whether it's how to, train people in the gym, whether it's one of my little brothers, he's cooking. He pretty much is on his way to being a chef. I used to teach him all the time in the kitchen. So things like that, just this thing, sorry about that, battery getting low. But it's the simple things that you do. And it's the smart things that you do. When you realize that Uncle Tom is killing your business, you get him out of there. Because your business, you can give him that one good fair warning. No, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But your business feeds your family, not Uncle Tom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's part of your family, but if he don't live in your house, then he don't feed your family. Yeah, he's helping your business grow from, 1,000 to 2,000 a week right now, but he's also hurting the business because a few customers that was helping you get to 2,000, he may have spoken to him wrong, so now you're back down to 1,600. Uncle Tom, you got to go.
Right. You
got to understand what's most important to you and yours first. When you're running a business, that becomes very important. How is this business benefiting you? How is it taking care of you? And you can't let nobody come in between that. You can't let nobody come in between that. Let me plug my phone. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. But you can't let nobody come in between that, man. And that's something I'm big on is saying, hey, look, I can't do business with you because of this, that, and the third. It affects me in a certain way, so I cannot do business with you.
Right. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to lay it down sometimes, and it's hard. I'm sure, especially when you first do it, when you first come to that realization, yeah, I got to get rid of this person. They're hurting me. They're hurting the business. They're hurting what I'm trying to build. They're hurting this legacy, what I'm trying to leave, this foundation I'm trying to leave, whether it's for me, myself, my family, my friends, for the community, whoever it may be. It's affecting it. It's hurting it. It's draining it. You got to do what you got to do. And a lot of people, they get scared. They get real scared thinking, man, it's going to hurt. But I always tell people, everything that you go through, right? You say you go through. At the same time, when you rip, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt, especially the first time. But you rip that Band-Aid off, give it some time. It's going to heal. It's going to feel better. Watch how much happy you're going to be. Watch how much more productive you may be. Watch how much more at peace you're about to feel yourself. And when you can utilize all that positive energy, where do you think you could put that into? Where do you think you can invest that into, right? Back into yourself.
I'll go back to your energy statement. You said positive energy. Stubborn people, because I can be stubborn. But I had a friend of mine who wanted to work out. Stubborn about the workout. Go when they want to go, come when they want to come. I said, if you take that same stubborn energy, I'm not going to call it negative. I'm just going to say stubborn energy. But if you take the same stubborn energy and just go to the gym with an attitude and just work out, watch how much weight you lose. Watch how much you get your ass in shape. Watch, because you're taking the energy and putting it in the wrong place. You're putting the energy into the factor of, I'm not going to do it. No, not going. Okay, I get it. Cool. But what happens if you take the same energy and just say, let me just get this over with. Let me just go to the gym. Let me just stop listening. Let me stop having him in my ear telling me when to go. And when they started hearing me in that aspect, they came to the gym sometime with an attitude, worked out for 30, 40 minutes. But 4 months later, they lost 20 pounds. 4 months later, they was down some inches. 5 months later, it kept going. Then it became repetitive to a point where all of that negative, I'm not doing it, was like, darn it. If I'd have just been doing this when he told me to, I would have been, yeah, you probably would have been further.
Right.
But I had to give it, sometimes you have to present it to a person in a way that they understand.
You do.
Sometimes you got to present stuff to people, period, in a way that they understand. I couldn't teach somebody, I mean, I can, but in order for me to teach a person about the stock market who used to play football, right, I would have to compare it to what he knows. If he been playing football, it's like, if I got to explain to him, hey, when you at the 50-yard line, you know, you're trying to get to that other 100%, but sometimes they may knock you back 5 yards. So you got to figure out how I got to get past these extra 5 yards to keep going. You know, something simple like that, and break it down to him with a chart pattern. And he's, oh, they have that aha moment. Now they're like, yo, that was dope. I appreciate that. Sometimes you give life to people the way that they live life.
Exactly. It's spot on, bro. Dropping a lot of phenomenal value, by the way, phenomenal insight as well. Like this is really great stuff. So I mean, stuff people definitely need to hear. Whatnot. So I just gotta thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you for having me on too.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you. So I got 2 last questions for you. You know, just a little even more about you. So what is your personal long-term goal? Now that may be whatever, you know, could be a long answer, whatever it may be, you know, it's your story, feel free to preach it. But what is your long-term goal of what you want to leave behind saying, yeah, you know, Naiquawn Anderson, I did this, you know?
You know, it's crazy. I don't even care if my name is attached.
Okay.
I just want to leave a legacy behind, not just for my grandkids, but for their grandkids. And not just their grandkids, but my closest friends, them too. I just want to leave a legacy behind of where I know I touched as many people as I could and show them whatever they need to be shown. Because I have a lot of knowledge. I'm a very knowledgeable person. I don't mind getting more knowledge. I love reading books. I'm big on reading books. I'm big on, even if I don't get to read it, do an audio book, whatever. So I'm more so big on my impact of a person, because I may tell you something today that you probably didn't really want to hear.
Right.
But I planted the seed. I planted the seed in the back of your brain today. And maybe, let's just say a year from now, you come across somebody else that says the same thing, but you like the way that they're saying it. So now they're putting water on the seed that I had already planted. And now the tree begins to grow. But you know what happened? If you happen to see me again, you go, hey, man, remember you said A, B, and C to me that day? I finally figured out what you were talking about, man. My impact was bigger than anything. Honestly, I just want to leave a really big impact behind, whether I'm attached to it or not, man. I've been in the forefront of life before, is what I'm saying, baby. I've been in the spotlight before. Like I said, I used to do music, and I've been in the spotlight before. I don't care about the spotlight anymore. I feel like I've done all the spotlight things already. Coming from a young man that grew up in New York City, where spotlight is a very big thing at a young age, right? I've been in the spotlight already, and I don't care for it anymore. Now it's just about impact, because sometimes you're in the spotlight, you're in the forefront, but you're not making no impact. You're not educating them, or if you are, you're miseducating them, or you guide them down the wrong path. Just things of that nature. I don't want to do those things. I want to be able to help young men, older people. It doesn't matter. Young women, everybody, girls, boys. I want to impact. I want to leave an impact, and that's why what we're doing with this, I feel like we're doing it. We're making an impact. We've had 2 events so far where we packed out the events and we made an impact.
Phenomenal.
And we'll have more events. We'll be traveling to different states, more events, teaching people about the basics of cryptocurrency who don't know, who need to know. And we're not out here telling you to pay us $5,000 just to learn.
Right.
These are actually free events. We put these events together with other people that want to help educate our people. These are free events. You know how much it'll cost you to come to one of my Crypto Carolina events? However much time you got that day.
I love it. I love that answer.
However much time you got that day is what it's going to cost you. So my event is, let's just say if you got enough time to be at the event at 2 o'clock and stay till it's over, which usually lasts about from 2 to 3 hours or so of education, that's all it's going to cost you that day. Well, and the gas to get there.
Right.
But that's all it's going to cost you. We usually provide refreshments and everything. So all it'll cost you is your time of the day. But my impact is what I want to leave behind, my impact.
That's phenomenal, man. I mean, that was real touching too. I mean, for real, like that's so unbelievably, like that's humble. That's selfless. That work that you want to provide for people as well as like, yo, we're giving you the tools. All you have to do is just pay your time, right? And another thing I feel like people don't realize is like every day you're paying something of time. You're giving your time to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
TV, it could be those things you might be procrastinating on. It could be your goal you're working on. Either way, your time, it's costing, right? It's very cost effectively. It depends on how you use it. And the fact that, like, the impact you want to leave behind is something like, yo, all you gotta do is just, hey, give an hour, however long you have, hour, 2, 3 hours of your time. That's all it's going to cost you here. But at the end of the day, in the long road, it's going to plant that seed. It's going to help that person grow, develop to the person they want to be, and it started with you. So that was absolutely phenomenal, man. Thank you so much for breaking that down. So, last question for the day. I'm not gonna lie, this call is phenomenal, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I appreciate it.
I had a lot of fun on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I even gained some knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom listening to you. I'm like, okay. Think about that, going upon that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try that. I like that. So my last question to you is, and I know you dropped a lot of value. I know you dropped a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
Like where to start from point A to get to that point B. But what is one piece of advice, maybe you haven't shared yet, but what is one piece of advice that you want to leave for the audience who are ready to, they can either be ready to take that jump, they just want to get started, they want to build the belief system, but what is one advice, anything at all, that you want to leave?
Believe in yourself first. Before you even take the leap, look in the mirror and believe in yourself. You can have all kind of talent, and everybody else could believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself yet. Don't take a leap because everybody else keeps telling you to take the leap. Take the leap because you finally looked up in the mirror and you said, I'm jumping. I am ready to jump. This is it. I don't care who jumped with me, even though I know I've had a lot of support over this side, over that side. I'm jumping. I'm going to go through the battles, the fires, the trials and tribulations to get to my goal. You got to be ready to jump. You got to be ready to take that leap of faith. You got to be ready to put those long hours in, those crazy nights, I got to drive here, go there, do this, do that, drink a Red Bull on the way, eat a banana because I haven't eaten all day. You got to be ready for those battles. So first and foremost, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in nothing else, you got to take the time to believe in yourself. Most importantly, a lot of people don't believe in themselves even when they think they do. And that comes with self-love. That comes with self-preservation. That comes with self-acknowledgement. That comes with self-development. It comes with keyword, self. You got to believe you. You got to see you for who you got to see you for three people. Who you was, who you currently are, and who you want to be. That's just the bottom. Those three people are all inside of you. Who you was, who you currently are, who you want to be. If that current person is better than the past person, great. But if it's not, work on the current person to become that future person within you. But you got, again, all of it starts with self. So that may be as many books as you may need to read to understand yourself better, seminars you may need to go to hear more people talk about how to be a better self. I believe in energy. I study my chakras and stuff like that to align myself, my mental capacity, continue to grow. Hell, I still read vocabulary books just to keep that mental capacity growing and be a better me every day. You gotta find yourself first and foremost. You are important. And besides all of that, man, just be ready to take that leap, man. Go for it. And if it come down to business, I will say know your business. Know your business. If we want to talk about just business, and we are here on an entrepreneurship call, so when it comes down to business, know that business. I'm sorry about can't think of the word, area that you want to get into. Sorry. So another word I was looking for, but know your business area. So if you want to sell soda, make sure you study everything you can about soda, how it's developed, how it can be developed better. Understand it. Then when you go out there and market, because if somebody comes and asks you a question about your product and you can't answer in 30 seconds or less, they're gonna doubt you.
Right.
Don't want that. Know your market. So that's all I'll say about that.
All right. Yo, I love that, man. Naiquawn, again, brother, thank you so much for taking time to be on this call. A lot of great stuff. Everybody's still tuning in. A lot of great stuff this man just dropped, man. I mean, I'm telling y'all this. I know I said y'all got to rewind back on that time, the part when you were talking about time. Man, y'all got to watch this video again, man.
I appreciate that.
Naiquawn, this is absolutely phenomenal, man. Hey, everybody that's been watching, let you guys know, I'm going to drop all of Naiquawn's information in the description below. You know, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, business websites, whatever you may have, going to drop that all in the description below. Definitely make this guy a follow, man. Hit him up. Do whatever you got to do, guys.
Oh yeah.
Like it's all about, it's a lot of things, but if you're in a place, and this is why I love it, talk about environment too, but if you're in a place right now where you feel like, man, I feel like I'm by myself, I don't know where to go, all start your environment, grow with new people and let go of old people, right? So at the end of the day, hey, hit this man up if you need to. This man, absolutely, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, I'm gonna say genius too, because I'm just like, yo, for real, I'm like, there's a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff, man. I really appreciate you being on this call. So, Naiquawn, again, thank you again so much. I'm gonna drop all the information below. Everybody that's been watching, thank you so much. That's been thank you to everybody that has still been watching, tuning in with us, getting great value. I hope you took notes from this call as well, man. And until then, everybody, I will see you all in the next episode.